And we're talking about the quadratic formula and the discriminant. This is week 4. All right, hi Devin. Okay, so for week 4, you have 2 assignments and a summative exam, okay? The exam, just to make sure that you understand, you can take that twice, all right? If you don't like the grade that you get the first time, you can take it again. Any of the other assignments, and I don't know, you probably already know this, you can do them 3 times, okay? If you don't like your grade, do them again and again. And if you still don't like your grade after 3 times, just let me know and I'll let you do it again. Okay? I don't have a problem with that. All right, so let's talk about the discriminant. First off, I guess before we start, anybody have any questions about anything so far? That's what we're going to tell you. Okay, so the quadratic, this is what we want to do today. We want to be able to solve equations using that quadratic formula. And then the discriminant, we're going to use that just to tell us how many roots or zeros, or the roots and the zeros are the same thing. It's where it crosses the x-axis, okay? So first off, everyone see this lovely thing here? This is the quadratic formula. A couple things you can do. You can memorize it if you want. The other thing you can do is you can put it on a piece of paper and use it. All right? Use it as a formula sheet. I do not mind if you have a formula sheet. When you take any of your quizzes or even your summative exam, make sure that you have formulas. And that's totally only if you want them. I don't know why you wouldn't, but all right. So first thing we need to know, these letters here correspond with the standard form of the quadratic equation. A is the number, it's the number in front of the x squared term. A lot of times you will see just x squared, so that there's no number in front of there. If there is no number, that means that that a value is 1, okay? It's not 0, it's not the x squared, it's just 1. B value is the term in front of the x, or this is the linear term, and the C value has no variable with it, and it's called the constant.
Underlined?
It's not underlined. That's what we're going to go through right now. This says opposite of B. So if your B value was like -4, right, and I'm just making this up, this would mean that it would be the opposite of -4. So you guys tell me either in the chat box or in a notepad, what is the opposite of -4? +4. I got 2 people over here that said +4. Anybody else think it's something different? Danny, James? Okay, it is. It's +4. Keep typing, Devin. This right here means plus or minus. Okay, so for any quadratic, you have 2 roots. And if you have to use this quadratic formula, you're going to get a plus, you're going to get the opposite of B plus all this stuff, and the opposite of B minus all this stuff. So you're going to get 2 roots, 2 places where it either crosses the x-axis, and if it doesn't, we'll learn that that means it's imaginary. But we're not going to do any imaginary stuff. Does that make sense? This 2a, last thing I want to tell you is the 2a, it divides everything up there. Okay? It's not just over this last part. It's not just over this first part. It's over this whole thing. Okay? All right. So this is a formula. Very serious, guys. If you want to write it down and have it with you, every time you take a quiz or test in this unit, please do. All right, so here's an example. And I forget how this is going to go, but t squared minus 3t minus 28. So what I want you guys to do, either in a notepad or in the chat box, doesn't matter where, tell me what the A, the B, and the C values are. Can you say, yeah, because yours isn't going yet.
I think A is 1 squared, or 2 squared. B is 3, or negative 3t, and then C is negative 28.
Okay. Okay, and Devin has written something down. Danny has written something down. Tanya, you gonna give it a go? Stephanie?
Yeah, sorry.
Guys, whatever you write here, whether it's right or wrong, this is the place where this is where you learn. So I don't care if it's right or if it's wrong. I just want you to participate. I just want to know that you guys are watching and getting something from it. Okay, so I got most people typing. Okay, are you ready? Stephanie, you still typing? Okay.
Does I know 2a? Because in the formula it shows like you're supposed to divide it all by 2.
Right, but right now all I want to know is what is the A, the B, and the C, so that then we're just going to put it all into that formula.
Oh.
I'll show you. Okay, ready? So A is 1. Remember, there's not a number in front of 1, in front of that t squared value. So if there's not a number there, it means it's a 1, okay? In algebra, like this part right here, not to really confuse you too much, but everything is raised to a power, and this power is 1, okay? Now, again, the B value is negative 3. Always keep the sign with the number, okay? And then negative 28. So, everyone, does that make sense to everyone? Smiley face, you guys here, shake your heads. Excellent. Okay, now we're going to use the formula. All right, are you ready? So here is our formula right here. And all we're going to do is we're going to take this B and we're going to put it in there for B. Make sense? Then it's B squared minus 4, A is 1, C is negative 28, all divided by 2 times 1. Okay? You just replace the letters with the numbers. All right, does that make sense? Okay. Now, opposite of negative 3 is positive 3. You guys already told me that the opposite of negative 4 was 4, so that should make sense. Right here we have a plus or a minus. So we're going to do this math here. So negative 3 squared is 9. 4 times 1 is 4 times negative 28 is negative 112. And I didn't do that in my head. Yes. Oh, good. Nice response, Taylor. You get 2 answers, so you have to use both of them. Okay, Danny, does that make sense? Thank you. Anybody else? When I don't see questions, answer them. I like that. All right. So, this stuff, if you can't do this in your head, but you know where to put all these numbers, but you can't do this math that's under the square root in your head, what are you going to do? Absolutely. Calculators, I have not a problem with anybody using a calculator. Okay? I do it a lot. I do it a lot. Okay, so add 9 and 12 and we get 21. And if you don't know, the square root of 121 is 11. So one of your roots are going to be 3 plus 11 divided by 2. And the other one is 3 minus 11 divided by 2. So if we were to graph this up here, this quadratic formula, this quadratic equation, we would see that the x-axis crosses the x-axis at 7 and negative 4. All right? Make sense? Okay. All right. So, you were asking about the discriminant. This stuff right here, not the square root, but just the b squared minus 4ac, that's the discriminant. And up here, you see we get a 121, which is a perfect square, right? So that tells us that we have two roots and they are real numbers, okay? All right. This is just a check. If you put 7 in there, you really do get 0. And if you put -4 in there, you really do get 0 too. Because I'm bored. I also programmed my calculator to do this quadratic formula. Oops, wait, don't look at that. Sorry, we wanted to graph this. Did it graph? No, it wouldn't graph. Okay. All right, so here we go again. Another example. What's my A value? What's my B value? What's my C value? Okay, we've got an answer from Danny. And Taylor. Jamie. Who else? Stephanie. Okay. I do not want to rush anybody, but there's my A, B, and C. Okay? Can you see that? All right. So A is 1. Remember, there's nothing up here. There's just that x squared, so that means it's a 1. All right, B is -8. And yay, most of you kept that. Keep the sign with the number, and then 16. Going to use the quadratic formula. One of the reasons you use the quadratic formula is if you cannot factor this. I don't know any factors of 16 that add up to -8. If you do, yay, I don't. All right, so then we're going to use our quadratic formula again. Just substitute in the numbers. Our B is -8, so -8 squared. C is, A is 1, C is 16, all divided by 2 times 1, which is A, right? Now, this part under the square root, not including the square root, what's that going to add up to? 0. That's going to tell us, let's just go through it, that there's only one root, right? It's 8 plus or minus the square root of 0. What's the square root of 0? 0. So it's just 8 plus 0 is 8. 8 minus 0 is 8. So it's just 8 divided by 2, so that's 4. If this discriminant becomes 0, that means that we only have one root, okay? And it's real. It's rational. It just means rational. Does anybody know what rational means? For a number to be rational? No? Okay, it just means that it is like a fraction, like it's rational. Think, what is rational? It means it's a whole number, okay? Like -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, all that. Those are all rational numbers. Make sense? Irrational means it's like a fraction or a decimal. Yeah? Okay. So, check just to be sure. I know all you guys check, right? You do this consistently, right? Yes? Yeah. I know. I'm not good about checking my work either. but you should. All right, so the other thing, my graphs are not coming up. The other thing, and I don't have my little pencil to draw, but I'm going to try, is that this was at 4, right? I'm going to try and, if there is only one root, this is going to be 4, then this graph just touches the x-axis at 4. That's where the vertex is. Let's see if I can do it. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. One root just touches the x-axis. It either goes up or it goes down, right? One root just touches the x-axis. All right. Last, I think this might be the last example. We don't have much time. What's your A, B, and C? Quick, and then we'll go through this. Nope. No, it's just the number. It isn't. The P in this case is called the variable, so it's not the variable. It's just the number. Do not forget, I'll say this, keep the sign with the number. Okay, ready? Oh, that was quick. All right, A is 3, B is -5. I don't want to draw anymore. Okay, A is 3, B is -5, C is 9. All right, you guys kind of getting the hang of this? You know what your A, B's, and C's are, right? Okay. Make sure that you have this formula written down, then just plug in the numbers. All right. Now, just looking, unless you have a calculator or if you have a calculator brain, what do you think you're going to get under the square root here? A positive or a negative number? Negative number. People over here are answering. Yes, exactly. So if you get a negative number, again, do not look at the square root, just at those numbers under there. That means that your roots are going to be imaginary. And I don't think you have no problems like this on your homework, but you do have, when you look at the video, it does talk about this. So, see this I? This is where we get that imaginary number. Yes, algebra has imaginary numbers, so that's why it's so much fun, right? We can imagine. Anyway, okay, so once we do this work, the square root of -83, anytime you have the square root of a negative number, you get this imaginary number, okay? If you get the imaginary number, that means that this parabola never crosses the x-axis. Right? It's either always above or it's always below, but it never crosses. Imaginary. And again, there's 2 of them, right? One's a plus, one's a minus. There has to be 2 of them. All right? Anytime you have imaginary roots, there's always a plus and a minus. Always, always, always. Okay? That's not always true with real roots. With real roots, sometimes you only have 1. All right. So a negative sign under that square root, or if the discriminant is negative, we get 2 imaginary roots. And of course, you can't see this. And I really do not know, because I don't know. But it would look something like this. That's supposed to be a parabola. All right. So it's above or it could be below. All right. Make sense, guys? Parabola does not, see, my parabola does not touch the x-axis. Okay. All right. So these next 3 examples are going to demonstrate the pattern of using that discriminant, that b squared minus 4ac. So if you just want to know, does it touch the x-axis, doesn't it, does it cross, whatever, you can just look at that b squared minus 4ac. All right, so here we go. Here are the examples. Because my discriminant, right, was real, then I had 2 real roots. Okay, it was a number, it was positive, so I have 2 real roots. When it's 0, then I only have 1 root. That means it just touches the x-axis. And when I have this negative number, that means I have 2 imaginary roots. Now, even if you wanted to, as part of your formula sheet, if you wanted to put this example in here, this example on a formula sheet, this is the discriminant, this is what happens when the discriminant are these particular types of numbers, that's fine, okay? Does that make sense? Yes, no, maybe? Make sense here, guys?
Yes.
All right. It's going to tell you the nature of the roots of the quadratic equation, right? If it's real, if there's 1 or 2, and if it's imaginary. So we want to find the value of the discriminant for each equation, and then tell me if it's real, if there's 2, 1, or if it's imaginary. All right. What's your A, B, and C? Okay. A is 2, B is 1, C is -3. That's okay, James. So here's my discriminant. B squared minus 4AC. Are you going to get a positive or negative number? Or is it going to be 0? Positive, negative, or 0? Nobody? Nobody? Okay, how about now? Positive, negative, or 0? Yes. So how many roots are there going to be? 2. 2 roots. All right, whoops. Who's making me go backwards? Okay, so I think this is going to be the last one, guys, because 2 things. It's almost 12:30 and my computer's about to die. What's your A, B, and C? This is a trick. No, it's really not. All right, are you ready? A is 1, B is 0. Do you guys see that there's no term there with an x value? So that means that that linear term is 0. Does that make sense to everybody? All right, let's use our discriminant. Okay, look at it. Positive, negative, or 0 for this number. What do you think? Positive? Got a negative here. Tanya, Jamie, Stephanie? Negative, negative, negative. Are you just going with the flow, or you really know that? Okay. Yes, we're going to get a negative number. So how many roots? What kind of roots? 2 imaginary. Is that what you say, Tanya?
I said 2i.
2i. Good, good. And yes, 2 imaginary roots. That's it. Oh, perfect timing. Yes. All right, guys, please remember, if you actually participated, and I think you all did, please go and say attended so that you don't have to do any work and you get free points, more or less. All right, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.